How's everyone going? Welcome back to another Commissioner MTMR Railways unboxing video. Today we've got our second episode of our second-hand auction pickup sort of thing. So it's actually two items this time compared to last time, which is one lot. This time it's two items but from separate lots. But it's a bit more correct for this channel, as it's already in the title obviously. We're doing something in Japanese. We actually also have a second package here. As I say, this is the second thing that's but it's not really as related. But obviously it's in the title, so yeah, we'll take a look at that after. So what it is, obviously, that's a controller. We'll have to talk more about why we've acquired a new controller. But obviously we're going to start off with this one. So this is obviously a Kato brown box model, and this is an HO model. Ooh, something different. That's a lot. Obviously something different. Obviously Kato does make HO, so does Tomex. There's a lot of HO stuff in Japan, but not a lot of them are. It's not so easily available, and nor are they usually the cheapest. But in any case, I've always had a love for the C56, especially from a previous, I don't know if it's a previous or will be a future video, because I have also acquired a one of the little Kato C56s, the 160 model, from their most recent run. But in any case, let's jump over to the side. We can see that it's nothing there. It's a it's the 201 C56 model. So obviously this is the older run. They've got two runs of this. They've got the brown box and the green box version. We don't know if they're going to bring out a new version or not in the future. If they do, I may grab another one if I can. I do love the C56 class after all. Anyways, let's get into it. Obviously we can see there's a bit of box damage. I assume that was an original price which has been ripped off. This is obviously not brand new. There's a reason why it's in this playlist. So let's get the cover off. Got our instruction manuals for the C56. So where to put the parts is like most of the HO Kato models. Yep. So there we go. That's the what's it called? Just fitting of the parts and all that sort of stuff, and obviously fitting of the number plates. And on the rear is more fitting of parts, fitting more parts, fitting, basically all fitting parts. So it's a parts manual basically. A way to put everything together to make it complete, because Kato is known, especially in the American market, as a sort of do-it-yourself locomotive. They're very reliable models, very good models. However, like everything will usually come in parts. So here are the whistles. Yeah, that's a whistle. Whistles. I'll get a close up of this because obviously you can't see this on camera. Whistles and some other airline pipes, I assume. There's the front door dart also in here. So it's nice to see that that's actually a separate part rather than just being a singleized part. We've got our number plates. So we've got a selection of 149, 110, 109 or 131 as our selective numbers. So the 4 different numbers you can pick from. Yeah, there's 4 sockets to put them on. There's our locomotive right there. There should be some other parts as well. I've been told it's possibly underneath. There we go. And here's our literal kit of parts. Whoops. For the rest of the locomotive. A lot of piping, some handrails and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be a bit of fun putting this one together. Will we put them together in this video? Probably not. I may have a shot at the end though, before the conclusion, where we will may possibly go. We'll see how long the video takes. If there's enough time to do it, we may put some of the parts on. If not, then you may when we swap over the conclusion, you may see the parts already added to it. It's very unlikely for a review for these sort of videos because it is unique in a way. So, but in any case, let's get the model out. Looks like there's holes on the back. Yeah, it's basically. But I think I can just drop the model out. There we go. That's our first HO Japanese locomotive, and a nice size it is as well. I'll maybe even bring out the what's it called, the little one, so we can just have a look at them side by side. Obviously, because it's the same locomotive, it's just bigger. So already looking really nice. Doesn't look bad at all. So this is going to be a fun task ahead of me to put this one together. I'll come back again in a second just to show the controller as well. Alright, we made it to the desk. Time to do a nice close up and look at the model before we go through our servicing process, being a second-hand model. I don't recall if there is a history on this one. If there was, then you've already seen it or not. So, but yeah, so time to give the Locomotive a spin. We're not going to do a full spin. Yeah, actually we will. I think I've actually got it almost perfectly centered on the wheel this time, unlike usually where it offsets a bit. Also because the engine's actually not that large specifically. Of course it is HO, and sorry about that. It is HO, so it is definitely bigger than what we're used to, but it's still a C56 and they're decently smaller locomotives. They are they are larger variation. They are a tender variation of the C12, which is just a little 262 locomotive, if I recall off the top of my head. I think they're 262, or they may actually be 260s. Can't remember that one. So, anyways. Let's zoom in. Now, of course, we're going to have a few minor issues with this on the fact that, yes, we are looking at this before it's been detailed, which means detail-wise it's going to be rather questionable. Yeah, so, well, we can see we've got our headlight at least. So this is just basically almost the base model. So you got your headlight and your moulded sections of the front. You got the holes for the number plate, the door dart, the handrails on the front, and below you got your for your, I assume what will be your air supply systems like air brakes and so on, your vacuum hosing and other forms of handrails and so on that needs to be stuck to the front of the locomotive. So that's it. I'm gonna have some fun putting this one together. So we may see it at the end of the video when it is done, because I would like to get everything tested and make sure before I start putting things together. You've got two smoke deflectors on the side. I again can't remember what they're called, but they're pretty standard style smoke deflectors. A lot of our engines down here also use them. I mean a lot, I mean the K classes. Going into the side of the model, we can see there's actually some bits that have been pre-fitted. I'm not 100% sure what they are, though, but I have seen it on the little one. But you have got things like your ladder that goes up so that you can more easily access the top of the locomotive. It's also pre-fitted with two safety valves on the right hand side, you can see over there, which is really interesting when the whistle comes separate. Don't know why that's the case, possibly because they just wanted to make sure that things didn't fall off too easily. Like in the location where the safeties are, it's not actually that hard to fall. It's quite hard to knock them off compared to where the whistle is, which is on the side of the dome. So we're going to go down and just have a look at that motion gear. Obviously nothing needed to be added there. Motion gear wise looks pretty good. But yeah, standard wall sharts motion. So wall sharts, I'm pretty sure it's wall sharts. Might have to correct myself if I find out whether or not it is or not. I'll put it on the screen, or what it's properly supposed to be called on the screen if it isn't wall sharts. So yeah, looks really nice. Always love steam locomotive motion gear. The front piston as well is not too bad. Not a lot. A lot of molded detail on the front on that. Coming on towards the back, we've got no cab for one. We've got a motor. So these motors are fitted with a non-cordless motor because it is a pretty old model. It's not a brand new model. It's just I love the C56 on it. If I can get one for a good price, I may as well go for one. But yeah, so the motor is just literally stuck inside the cab. So there is no cab, unfortunately. But at least you've got glazing on the side of the cabin. So at least you've got that to go for it. You've also got a little walkway cover that bridges between the the cab and the tender, so that's all pre-fitted, which is nice. Just be a bit careful with that because you can break it off. It is only plastic, unlike some of the other ones which are usually metal. Onto the tender. They're a nice little tender. Very, I think, I'm pretty sure it's unique to the C56 actually. Full of coal. You can see once again you got all the holes to fit your extra bits of detail, and obviously the extra number plate. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that the headlights do work. I don't know why they wouldn't. These are a lot larger models than the little one. The little one even has working light on this end, so be a bit worrying if it doesn't have working headlights. I should also say that yes, the model does have pre-fitted brake rigging, so all the brakes have been fitted nicely. Now on this side of the model, basically the same sort of stuff as the other side. So we'll just take a quick look around. We've got a compressor on this side as well, so yeah, which is pretty nice. This one isn't fitted with the generator. I think it may possibly come with a steam generator. It says a extra part, maybe, possibly. Well, but I know the little one that I have, the C50, 160 does, but that's also because it's been upgraded for modern operation, where you have a steam generator to operate your lights and so on. And we're back on the front of the locomotive, so it's not too bad of a locomotive after. And even though it's pretty bare at the moment, the details what is already on it isn't too bad. Being a black locomotive is a bit hard to see the details as well. There's no handrails on the side, I've realised as well, which you have to pre-fit. You have to go fit those yourself. So it is interesting. It's an interesting concept of having to put most of the details on yourself rather than just having them on pre-fitted. So, but it's also a nice. It's not a bad idea as well, because it means you can. Fingers crossed means you can put more details on. I've noticed some models have started to lack their details a little bit because they're being put onto it, like the removal of door darts and so on. But this will have a physical door dart fitted, so we'll see how it is. As I say, we'll go and give it a service. I'll go through that procedure with you guys as well. So we'll go through servicing. It's not going to be too much for this one. There's not really mostly wise is everything seems pretty clean on it. So not really in terms of cleaning. It's more just oil point and so on like that. And then we'll give it a running in, a regular running in for this one, because don't know how long it's been since this last ran. And then yeah, and then I would like to run it with stuff. Don't think we'll see if I do or not. Maybe in the conclusion after I've got everything fitted out. But fact is, I don't have any HO rolling stock for Japan, so unless I can whip up some V-line box fans or something. So, alright, with that with our close look at that done, time to take a quick pack of this. We're not going to be testing it this video or anything, because obviously this is HO we're playing with, not 00 or N-gauge. So it's more just this is what's arrived with it. So we'll take a quick look at it, and as I say, while I do that and realise my thing's full of rust, while I do that, I'll also explain about why I've decided to acquire another controller. So obviously there's the standard reasons of, oh, it's I want to run another loop, but not realistically for that reason. The problem that we've had with the normal controller that we've had running with this model, on the Kato track, is we've been using the we've been using the SX controller, as they call it, the Kato SX controller, which is the current generation of their controllers, which comes with all their train sets. However, you may have came to notice in some of our previous videos, or even some of our upcoming videos, some of our previous videos, there's a whining noise you can hear from the model. That is because the controllers are fitted with a PWM switch. The PWM switch allows for better control of slow speed, which is fantastic, honestly. It's great that it has that, but it's also not 100% good for some motors if they're not specifically designed for it. It's really interesting to think that as a precision scale model, that is a thing that's and that's an issue. The precision model controllers, yeah. So this is Kato transformer made for, well, 100 volts. Oh, this is not far country. This is Japan's, and I don't know why there's like oil on the plug as well. That's a bit interesting. Or saturation. So yeah, this is made for 100 volts at 50 hertz to an output of 15 volts at 1.5 at 2.2.5 V8. Yeah, so this obviously is not useful for me, not useful at all. Because we use 240 volts down here, and as well as that, that's obviously the wrong port. So that's a Japanese plug. But they should be using the same plug-in. So I've got my SX controller. I can just steal the transform from that. It's a lot of packaging. So here we go. So this is the standard power pack S. A few scratches on it. It's not brand new. It's in good condition, as they call it. It's also got a reset button, which is nice. So the reset button needs to be up the top, which is interesting. So that's different. Yeah. So this is an S controller instead of the SX controller. So apparently these don't have a PWM switch fitted to them. They are pretty much identical in all ways, other than obviously the other one is all blue and looks more plasticky, and that one has a PWM switch, which means you get very nice low control on the models. But it's also not good for models, especially when you start collecting things which aren't just Kato. Apparently these ones have problems with it, the C58s from Tomex. So hopefully means that we can solve those problems. I will still probably switch between the controllers over time. Well, obviously need to see how this is first, because obviously this is kind of untested. There's probably no warranty on this, nor is it Australian guaranteed either, because obviously it's not Australian model. So other than that, we've also got. Let's have a look what other bits and pieces that came with this. Because honestly, I'm not 100% sure what was supposed to come with this. I only assumed that I was supposed to get the controller, but oh, nice. We got a the re-roller power extender. That's just pretty cool. I was actually needing to get one of these, but it's nice to see I just got one. And this is a power track. This has been ballasted, which is interesting. So it's obviously been ripped out of someone's layout, which is even more interesting. So it's in decent condition, but it's obviously being used. So yeah, that's you can see rail marks and stuff on it. So it's in not too bad condition. All I really care about is as long as the controller works, and let's hope it does. So alright, time to do our servicing of the model. It's just for this model, it's what's it called? Honestly, pretty basic little work that we're doing. Not really much to do. I've had it on the desk for a little bit now. You'll notice from the dates in the description that there's multiple different dates. So there's not really much to do with this one. The model's actually in pretty good condition altogether. Only thing we are probably going to do is give it a bit of a lubrication for this one. Wheels seem pretty clean as well. There's no need to clean the wheels. As you see here, yeah, the wheels are all very clean. I do notice there are minor bits of it has been ran. Definitely, there's markings on the wheels that shows it's been ran, but on that it's very minor dirt. I've definitely even some of my newer models, like some of the stuff in the background, had more running than what this has had. So just going to use some of this Woodland Scenics hobby lube. Just a little bit onto each moving component of the locomotive. I think this has been leaking as well. That's always nice to see. Just only a little bit into each component, because don't even know if it's actually working. That's another problem. Now, unfortunately, it's also in the rod's up position, which makes it quite hard to see what what I'm doing. So basically, anything that moves is going to get a little bit of oil. No, not too much, because again, these are micro scale models for a reason. They don't need a lot of oil. You put too much oil, you end up just flooding it. So at least with something like this one, it's actually pretty simple to do. The main you don't have to pull it apart. The gears are all visible from the outside, so Reason why I don't put it into the shafts, because the wheels are supposed to stay on the shaft and it's not gonna move anyway, so alright, I think that should be enough. I haven't been able to realistically get into this one here because it's a bit too hard to get to, but should be fine. I don't know what's it called, as long as the major components is mainly the main things I'm worried about is the inside components of the model being and not having enough oil. So hopefully that should be enough for it. We'll go and put it on the tracks and give it a running in. We'll do a full hour running, so 30 minutes each way, and then yeah, that should hopefully have it ready to go. Then we'll have a chat about it, and then I might get to fitting some of the details. Maybe do some of it on camera, maybe not. We'll see what happens, to see how timing goes, because obviously it's very bland without the details. But so let's head over. Alright, well here we are, we're on the layout. Bit odd for knowing that we're doing a Japanese model, but it's obviously on this layout rather than the little one. But obviously you got the model currently just sitting off the side a little bit. But I have to move it here obviously, so making sure they haven't leaked the oil anywhere. So pop the engine on just right here. It's pretty simple to do. It's a what's it called, 260 with there is that walking plate, if you remember, between the front and the tender. That thing was jammed between the locomotive and wouldn't allow it to sit down lay on the track properly. So alright, we'll again just shunt it a little, or just run it forward and back. So quite a noisy motor actually, but it's kind of expected, knowing it's not a cordless motor or anything. So it's still smooth though, very smooth. I should also confirm that we are doing this all on a Gauge Master Combi, which is a bit different obviously in terms of this video, because we usually use the Kato SX power thing, although obviously in the future will be the S from now on. But so yeah, let's get it moving. Again, 30 minutes each way. We'll get a few running shots. We have got the table currently up, half the table of the little one currently up. There's nothing on it, it's just so means we'll have more like a tunnel for half the layout. But yeah, so let's get moving. I really do need to see what I can do about that motor one day though. Alright, so there we are. Not too bad. It seems to be noisier at slow speeds rather than high speed. But yeah, so that's the running in done. If I just run it. Sounds like a can motor, honestly. So, cam. So, bit interesting. Anyways, what's it called? Ooh, don't know what I'm going to run it with. I don't have Japanese rolling stock in HO, so I'll find something to run with it. Alright, I'm not sure how we left off the other part. Obviously, the quality has changed in terms of what I'm recording with, because I have a few problems with my normal video camera, so we're going to finish off the video with this camera. Hopefully it will suffice. I'm hoping you can actually see what's actually on screen, because it looks a bit dark actually. Unfortunately, but there it goes. Well, surprise! We've got some actual rolling stock for the train. I never got a chance to actually put the detail onto the C56. We'll get that done in the future, so we should stay tuned for that. Probably for a running video. May have its actual parts fitted by then. Maybe. But apologies, this is a DSLR I'm using, so focus might be a bit all over the place. Well, a few 45,000 series carriages. 45,000? I think they're 45,000. Yeah, 45,000. And to 9,000. I think that. No, 9,000, and then a guardrail in the darkness, which we can't see, unfortunately. So I'll try my best to get a few running shots hopefully with this camera. See how it goes. I have to play around quite a bit with the focus because it's unlike the video cameras this doesn't have autofocus, so see how it goes. So there it goes. Right, let's get moving. They are all full stock, so you notice that. Alright, so these unboxing, second-hand unboxings are a little bit different to our normal unboxing videos, but let's bring it to a stop. We do follow somewhat the same format, so what do I think of it? It's not a bad model at all. It's very noisy, very different of a sort of motor that I'm used to, especially going back to some of the British stuff. That stuff it's very quiet. A lot of Australian stuff is also very quiet, so it's a bit interesting. It's different having to basically put the whole model together yourself, because as we know, the most of the parts seem to be in the box rather than pre-fitted. At it's quite a nice find. Definitely a bit more rarer of a model these days. At least in terms of having to get it for a decent price. Kato has recently announced that they are rerunning the D51s, so that's definitely interesting. Would love a chance to take a look at one of those and possibly even put those up. That will be part of, possibly even get that a part of the main series. But we'll see what happens. I know there's not going to be many of those around, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, definitely not too bad of a find. Hopefully one day Kato will do a rerun of these and update the model a little bit. It is a bit bare bones in some ways, especially that motor. I'm more worried on the mechanism rather than anything. I think the details are there, primarily since you had to put most of them on yourself. I apologise about the fact that I had to change cameras halfway through this. It was unintentional for the camera to suddenly have its own hissy fit between the filming of these videos as I was waiting for the arrival of the carriages. We were originally planning to have some other carriages, just random wagons put onto it, like you can see in the background. But I decided to hold off and get something more proper for this locomotive. So with that, that's the start of our HO line for our Japanese fleet. I don't plan to do too many of these. They're definitely not as easily available as our HO stuff, nor especially the N-gauge stuff. But maybe once every so often we might have another one of these. But until next time, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed with this little look of this second-hand unboxing of the Kato C56. We'll catch you all next time.